Okay, so it will be the same menu as we have seen yesterday: enterprise structure, assignment, human resource management, assignment of personal area to company code. Okay, so click on this. So what are the personal areas we have created? We have created AMCO, KUCO, AMTR and KUTR. AMCO, AMTR. AMCO, AMTR, AMCO. So if you look at AMCO and AMTR, this belongs to company code
0 AM.
40 AM.
40 AM.
Okay. So let's see. Yeah, Primark Ameerpet. And even this belongs to 40 AM. And now it is asking for the country grouping. What is the country grouping we are working for? So that country grouping you have to specify here. So we are working for India and you have to specify 40. If you want, you can get the list of country codes by clicking on this. So you can see the different country groupings available.
Okay.
And you can click on right click and you can click on download, and you can download it into a spreadsheet if you want to download. Okay. So as we are doing it for 40, I took 40. So
Today's session is not recording.
oh, I forgot. Wait. So this will be the assignment of. Okay. Okay, and the same way we have to assign the other. What is that?
40 KU.
40 KU. So 40 KU. Where is it? Sorry, we have to search for the personal area. KUCO. Yeah, and this is 40 KU, 40 company code, and then country grouping is 40. 40. Yes, so this is what we have created. This is what we have created. So I have to pick up Primark configuration. This is okay, and it is saved. So this is called as assignment of personal area to a company code. Now anyways, company code is already assigned to company. So everything is linked now. Personal area, personal sub area, company code and company. Everything is linked by this step. Okay. Next we will see the employee groups. Now if you go and see info type 1, TA20, you will have in info type 1, you will see personal structure. So we are done with the enterprise structure of company code, personal area and personal sub area. Now in personal structure you have employee group and employee subgroup. This employee group and employee subgroup also is part of the same thing, enterprise structure. Under human resource management you will have employee groups and employee subgroups. Okay, employee group and employee subgroups. Yes. Now, so the configuration steps would remain the same. Instead of assignment, it becomes definition. Okay, instead of that, we'll see employee groups. Now, what is an employee group?
List of the employees.
So, if you go and see this, see if you look at the
Active.
employee group says active.
Okay.
So, whenever an employee joins the organization, he belongs to a location, and based on the location and based on his job, the employee group will be decided whether he is an active employee, permanent employee, temporary employee. So, these are the employee groups: active, retiree, pensioner, permanent, contract, terminated, casual, intern, external. So these are the employee groups which are available. Now these are defined by the product they are defined from 1 to I think only I. 1 to I are defined by the product. The rest, if you see the down, they are created by someone else. So any of the company, they might not have more than these employee groups. Everything is, now if you look at the employee groups, everything is there. Do you think any type of employee group is missing? So in a company, if any employee joins, either he'll be an active employee or a permanent employee. If he is joining through a contractor, then he'll be a contract employee. Yes or no? So if you look at the employee groups, everything is almost there. But still, if you want to add anything based on the company you are configuring, you can add new entries, no problem. But usually in this step, we don't pick up any new entries because everything is already available. So I'm closing this. Now I'm going back to this. Now I click on employee groups. Now look at this. So these are the employee groups which are defined. Just now we have seen them. If you want to create anything new, just click on new entry and create new. If the employee group is missing in your screen. Okay. So these are the product defined employee groups. These are the product defined employee groups. Again, it has become slow. I'm actually connecting through a remote desktop. Because of that, I think the problem is because of that. Okay. So these are the employee groups which are defined. Now, if it's for a company, if we have to configure the employee group, not all the type of employee groups will be available in that company. That means any employee joining mostly can be part of active group or a permanent group or a contract group. For example, we will consider 3. We will take 3. That means in the organization what we are configuring, employees are permanent. So any employee who joins the company can be permanent, will be permanent, and then also contract. So we are taking these two criteria of employee groups. Now, if an employee is permanent, what should be the employee subgroup? So what is the difference between permanent employee and a contract employee? So a permanent employee is part of a pay scale group. What do you mean by pay scale group? That
Salary.
means, yes, so any employee joining in the organization, whoever is permanent, their salary is processed in the company. That's the reason we are considering it as pay scale group. And any employee joining under contract is non-pay scale. Their salary is not processed in the company, but the data is maintained for the employee. So for every employee group, there will be more than one employee subgroup defined by the company. It is not necessary that you will only have one. There can be many employee subgroups. So it is purely based on the company want to define the employee group. They can define it as pay scale, or they can define it as salaried, or they can define it as wage earner. So anything. So this is just an example. So employee subgroup is purely based on the company what we are configuring. Okay. So what we have to do is go here. So here we don't have to do any changes. Now click on employee subgroup and define employee subgroup. Okay, click on new entry. So define employee subgroup. So what is that we have to define? We have to define these two. I have to define these two. We have to give a code for this. So let us give it as P1 Primark 1 and P2 Primark 2 for example. I will just enter. An entry already exists. So we will take it as 1P and we will take it as 2P. So we are creating as 1P and 2P. 1P and 2P. Okay, just save it. So we have created 2. Now, but we have not specified this belongs to which employee group. We just created the employee subgroup. So we have defined the employee subgroup. Now we have to assign the employee subgroup to the employee group. We have just done the definition of employee group. This is what we have defined. Okay, now we will see the assignment. Okay. So go to assignment, HRM, assign employee subgroup to employee group. Yes. So SPRO, IMG reference, enterprise structure, ENT. Structure,
Assignments.
and
HRM.
then assign employee subgroup to employee group.
HRM would be
Go
there.
here. Yeah, HRM would be there. Assignment, HRM.
HRM.
So, now click on this. Click on new entry. So what is the employee group we picked? We picked 3. 3 is nothing but your permanent, and we gave 1P. So for permanent we have given pay scale group. Now you have to tick this to the country. You can also tick for multiple countries, no problem. So India is part of 40, so we will pick up 40.
41. Yeah.
Save it. In the same way, we have to assign another employee group to the employee subgroup. So new entry. So we picked 4, and it is 50 non-pay scale group, and then select 40. Save it. So this is how we
We
assign
don't have
the
to assign, Rohini, we don't have to assign this 3 to 2P.
Okay. See, here what I am doing, I am selecting permanent and I am saying pay scale group, which is 1P. And for 4 contract, I am giving non-pay scale group, that is 2P. So this belongs to only this, and this belongs to only to this.
Only this. Okay.
Okay. Because any employee who is joining as a permanent, they are getting salary. That's the reason pay scale group. And if any employee is part of non-pay scale group, that means he is not a permanent employee. He is another employee like contractor or a third party.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called as creation of enterprise structure. So in this step, pick up the employee group and employee subgroup and save it to the country by check mark. Okay. What happened? So this is called as the enterprise structure. Clear?
Yes.
Now we will see personal administration. Okay. Doing that. Now if you look at info type 1, we still have payroll area. This payroll area we will do it during the payroll module. Now let us not touch this. We will discuss this later. Now, how do we hire an employee? So, how do we hire an employee? Yeah. So, we use PA40, which is called as personal actions. Now, if you go to PA20 or PA30,
Maintain HR master data.
yeah, when you go there, now if you look at this is called as the menu bar.
Okay.
Employee details, payroll data, time data, company details, all this is called as a menu bar. I can also customize this the way I want. So this is
Yes.
customized menu bar. This is not products. So I'll go to SU3. SU3 is where you can maintain the user group reference. So if you go to parameters, you will have something called as UGR. If you look at the UGR, it is given as 20. I will change it to 00 and save it. I will tell what is 00. Now I will go to PA 30.
30.
Now if you look at this, you see core employee information, employee contract data. Now it has changed. Earlier it was employee details and all, now it is changed. Did you see a change?
Yes.
Yes.
Now this change is because of the user group reference. So UGR will be a configurer specific. Whoever is configuring, so SU3 is called as slow. SU3 maintain user profile. In maintain user profile, under parameters, you have a UGR, user group HR master data. So in maintain user profile, under user parameters, we maintain the UGR, which is called as user group reference. Okay, so any configuration we do in the system for PA, that is for personal administration, we have to tag that configuration to one user group. So for me, I will define a user group. For example, you are doing a configuration. You can give a 2-digit user group for your configuration. So if client is logging into the system for your configuration, you want them to see the screen the way you have customized for them, based on their requirement. That is called as UGR. So for example, if you go here, user profile, now 00 is the standard UGR. I will change this and I will give, for example, there is something called as 4R, which is again system customized. I am going to PA30. See, now you see employee details, payroll details, time details. Why you see this? Because it is based on the customization, UGR specified. So for my configuration, I give 2-digit UGR, that is 4R. That's the reason the screen is changing. Screen in the sense the menu options are changing. Okay, this is called as customization of the
Menu bar.
PA20 menu or PA master data menu. So we will see that, and we will also see what is PA40. So basically PA40 is nothing but personal action. See, for example, you see it is called as Reliance hire, Reliance termination. Why do you say Reliance hire and Reliance termination? Because we have given the UGR as 4R. So whoever is configuring Reliance, they have maintained like that. Now I'll go to SU3. I don't want that. I want standard systems UGR product. So I will change it as 00. Molga is 40. We have defined 40. Now I go to PA40. Now you see hire, change of position, termination, leave, absence. Now do you see a change in the action type? This change in the action type is because of the UGR. So even we have to configure the personal actions. Okay. Now before we configure the personal actions and before we look at the UGR specifics, we will try to understand how an employee is hired in the company. So any kind of action. So when I say an action, it can be hire, it can be termination. So these are the two regular activities which happen, and any other thing is performed through PA40. Okay, so I'm going to personal actions. I click on hire and I click on execute. So this is called as the initial screen of hiring. So we have to specify the start date. For example, I'll take 16/09/2016. Now these are the mandatory fields I have to give. Mr. Hire 1. I'm just giving some name random. And you have to give a date of birth, fine, 29/09/1984, for example, just like that. And then I'm doing an hiring. And what is the reason for hiring? If a configuration will maintain the reason, you can also give the reason. So if you see hiring and action type, this is again a backend configuration. For example, if you look at this, it is called as, these are the reasons available. So for example, I am taking it as expansion. Now in organization assignment, ignore position for now. You have personal area. Now we have just configured the personal area. So I'll just click on this. I will not take the personal area what we have configured because we have not yet done with the complete configuration. I will take something else. The product defined. So I'm sorting it with country grouping. And now I will try to pick up 40. For country grouping 40, what is available? Okay, I have something called as, see, I can see for India, there are many things. So I'll take maybe Tamil Nadu. And what is the personal sub-area? So in Tamil Nadu, they just have admin team. So this is personal area and this is personal sub-area. And what is the employee group? Maybe active. And what is the employee subgroup? The options what you see is the one we have configured. So for example, I am taking it as pay scale employees. So this is the initial hiring screen. So we configure hiring this one part and we also configure personal area, personal sub area, employee group and employee subgroup. Based on the options what you pick, system will give you the sub options. So whatever we have configured, we have to go accordingly. So this is the initial screen. So I will just save it. Now the minute I save, system will take you to the next info type. Assignment or to feature did not take place. Okay. See, this is an error. That means someone who has done the configuration, they have not maintained this feature. So the configuration is incomplete. So what I will do is I will just go back. Instead of this, I will hire for some other company code. So I will take hiring. So what I will do, I will just go to SU3 parameters. I will change it. Code R. So I'm going to PA40. I am taking Reliance Hire and today's date is 16. I will execute. So Mr. Hire 129. So Reliance Hire. So what is this? So new position. What is the personal area? So I will pick up Reliance configuration. Okay, 4011 and electronics. Employee group is permanent and then employee subgroup is pay scale. Okay, and I am clicking on save. Now see, the minute we have saved, you see the next info type. What is the next info type? Create personal data. And you also see the employee number has been generated. And you can't edit the employee number and it is grayed out. And system is taking to the next info type, which is info type 2. So if you look at this status bar, you have MP 000200. The info type is 0002 which is info type 2. This is basic and mandatory info type. So first one was the hiring screen and the second info type is
Okay.
personal data. So I will just fill in the nationality. And if you look at the start date of the record, it is changed to, what is this? Date of birth. So info type 2 is the only unique info type. The start date of the initial record will be date of birth, which will be picked by the system automatically. Now I just click on save. Now system is taking you to the next info type, which is called as organizational assignment. Which info type is this? Info type 1. So what is happening? System is taking you one after the other info types. And now if you look personal area, company code, employee group, employee subgroup, everything has come. If you look at the payroll area also coming. Why all these things are coming? Because backend it has been configured like that. So now what I will do, I will just save it.
Address.
Save your entry. Now ignore this box and just click continue. Now what should be the next info type?
2.
Address.
Address, yes. So it will take you to the next info type.
6.
So the info types which are coming one after the other is called as info grouping. It need not be 6, it can be something else also. But because we are following a standard procedure of the info types calling basic and mandatory, that's the reason how did I group my info types? After actions, it should be personal data, it should be info type 1, then it should be info type 6. This is how I specified my configuration. That's the reason you are able to see the info types coming one after the other in the same pattern. This is called as info grouping for personal actions, which is info type 7. You have to maintain a work schedule. So work schedule is not yet configured. It is not available. So we will just leave it and I click on the next info type. This is info type 7. I click on next record.
8.
Now
Basically.
info type 8. Even info type 8 is not yet configured. That's the reason you don't see any values defaulted. So I will just click on the next record. And then you will see bank details. So I will change the payment method to cash payment. Okay, and you see postal code is coming from address info type 6. Okay, and I will save this. Now employee ID, which is info type 709. Now if you look at this, you have PERS number and person ID. What is the difference between this and this?
Person ID, personal number.
Maybe
So
this,
the one which you see here, 4 series, this is the number which is generated by the system. This is called as SAP PERNR number, PERNR. So even this is a configuration which you do at a backend. That means whenever I hire an employee, this is the order system should go in creating the employee personal number. So this is system generated PERNR number. Now person ID is nothing but now this employee is hired in my organization and I will maintain a employee code. So this is called as Reliance Digital Employer Act Code, unique number, and this is SAP generated number. Because even SAP also generates a number for payrolls. That's the reason this is the number. And this is employee code which is given by the employer. So whenever employee logins the company with his access card, this will be the number maintained and this is linked to this number now. These both numbers are linked. We cannot allot these numbers to anybody else. So to update the employer ID here.
Okay. Personal ID is the employer ID and personal number is the system generated number.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now then you will see 185, info type 185, which is for the PAN number.
Roni, personal number and personal ID should be the same, or it could be different.
It can be different. It can be different. Personal number is system generated, person ID is employer number. So you join a company, they'll give you a number.
Yes.
But this number which system is generating is only for SAP.
Okay.
Yeah. Next is recurring payments and deductions. We can't create anything because I don't think so wage steps are available because it is not yet configured. So I'll just click on the next record. Again, I'm clicking on the next record, additional payments, it is not yet configured. Now Provident Fund, this is India specific. Okay. So I'll just pick something and then I'm just saving it. And then we have professional tax. This is also India specific. And then you have date specifications. So we didn't discuss date specifications, we will discuss tomorrow. So in date specifications, what I am doing is, I am storing the employee hiring date here. Hiring date is already stored in info type 0 actions, but again I am storing here original hire date. Why? We will discuss tomorrow. 16/09/2016. Okay, I'm saving. What happened? Now complete hiring has been done. This employee is hired. Now whatever pattern you have seen in PA actions, PA 40, the personal actions whatever are coming and the info types one after the other they are going. This is all the backend configuration what we do. Okay. So this is how we hire an employee based on the action type. Any questions?
Ma'am, how to customize the menu in personal, I mean in PA40?
Yeah, we will do it. We will do it. Now today I have discussed what is PA40 because if you know now what happened, based on this we will do the so you will understand what happens at the end user level. Now we have seen the end user, how end user will hire an employee. This is how they will hire. So any error if they get, we have to only fix it. Okay, so this is called as hiring. So for today I will just stop. I have a call now, so I can't, I have to take a call now. So tomorrow we will see how do we customize the master data screen. Okay, and then we will start with the personal action configuration. So I think we will take 2 to 3 days to complete this and we will be done with the personal actions. So during that we will also see number range, how this personal number should be created, and there are features available in SAP. We will start discussing the feature. So we will try to correlate everything for topic to topic, and that's how we will do the configuration. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will meet tomorrow then.
Tomorrow the same time, Rohini?
Yeah, same time. Your bad luck.
No, it's fine for me.
Okay, then we will catch up tomorrow. Yeah.
I think you created the new one. Can you send me the?
What? Okay, the sheet I will share it with you.
Yes. Yeah. And also, are you recording the session?
I just now recorded. I will also stop. I don't know how to stop this. You do want to.
Maybe you disconnect it, it gets stopped automatically.
Okay, I'll check later how to stop. Anyway, when I end the session, it will be stopped.
And one more final question, Rohini. You told that if you want to create an UCR for info types, but in the real time, one company used to do the configure different companies' master data. So for, when they were configuring one master data, they want to change the UGR number.
See what happens in real time scenario. One server, one client configuration, but many countries. See, Microsoft India configuration, Microsoft Singapore configuration. One server is Microsoft, countries are different. UGR can be same for all the countries, but UGR will not be same because based on the country specific info types are also changing. So I cannot maintain the same UGR. So country wise restriction will start now. So for example, for India, Microsoft, they will only have access to India only. They can't get access to other countries. There will be only one super user who will have access to all countries.
Okay.
Okay then, I will meet tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye, Rohini.
Bye.